Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about an important topic for anyone dealing with student loan default. That is loan rehabilitation. If you've fallen behind on your federal student loans, you're not alone and there are ways to get back on track. One of the most effective ways to get out of default is through rehabilitation. In this session, we're going to cover what rehabilitation is, why it may be beneficial in your case, and the steps that you should take to rehabilitate your loans. At the end of this session, you're going to know what to do and what to expect along the way. As mentioned, one way to get out of default, in addition to consolidation, is through a process known as loan rehabilitation. This option may take a little bit longer, but there are some benefits that you may be interested in, such as repairing your credit. Let's explore how it works and things to consider before taking this step. So, what is loan rehabilitation? Simply put, loan rehabilitation means that you agree to make a series of affordable monthly payments to your loan servicer. And after you make those payments, your loans are taken out of default. Why would you choose rehabilitation? Some of the key benefits is that it's going to end involuntary collections such as wage garnishments. You're going to regain access to income driven repayment plans and federal loan forgiveness programs. It's partially going to remove the default history from your credit report. You will be eligible for federal student aid if you're planning to go back to college again. And it's going to improve your general financial health. Please note that right now you can only rehabilitate a loan once. In other words, if you have previously defaulted on your loans and used the rehabilitation process to get them back on track, you will not be able to rehabilitate them right now a second time. But in 2027, borrowers will be able to rehabilitate loans twice. How do you qualify? You're going to make 9 monthly payments within 10 consecutive months. These payments are going to be based on your income and household size in general. It could also be based on your overall expenses. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So, how will you get started? Number one, you're going to contact your loan holder, also known as your student loan servicer. These are companies that handle your federal student loans, whether they're in good standing or in default. Generally, it's a different loan servicer if they're managing your loans when they're in good standing versus when they're in default. Once you identify your loan holder, you're going to reach out to them and simply ask them to enter into a rehabilitation agreement. They're going to be able to walk you through the process and explain what documents you're going to need. If you don't know who your student loan servicer is, you can log into your studentaid.gov account to find out. Generally, you're going to find that information on your dashboard on the right hand corner. If you want to verify that your loans are in fact in default, you will also be able to do that at studentaid.gov. For most federal student loans, the servicer managing those defaulted loans is known as the Default Resolution Group, DRG. Their phone number is 1 800 621 3115. If you call that number, they will be able to verify that your loans are in fact in default and they are the ones managing it. Step number two. When you call your loan holder or servicer, they're going to ask you for some information. Part of that information is going to be about your income. Eventually, you will need to provide proof of income like pay stubs or tax returns. This information is used to determine your monthly payment. The monthly payment should be affordable and can be as low as $5 depending on your financial situation. Step three. Once you determine your payment amount, you're going to agree to pay that amount for those 9 months out of the 10. Now, if your calculated monthly payment is too high and still unaffordable, you can request for that payment to be recalculated by submitting an income and expense information form. This form is going to ask you about your income and also expenses. And this is a way to potentially lower your required monthly payment for purposes of the rehabilitation. Step four, you will eventually get the rehabilitation agreement. In the rehabilitation agreement, you're going to see your required monthly payment, a commitment to make those 9 consecutive payments within the 10-month allocated, and other general terms and conditions. You will also be provided instructions on how to submit your signed agreement. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them before you sign the agreement. You can contact the same student loan servicer that you initiated the process with. After that, you're going to make those 9 monthly payments. Again, you're going to have 10 months. So if you miss one payment, you should be able to catch up. But you have to make those 9 payments on time. Usually, you can establish some auto payment mechanism if that is something feasible for you. Those payments must be voluntary. In other words, if you have a wage garnishment or you had a tax refund offset, that money cannot be used to cover the 9 monthly payment required. Again, they have to be voluntary payments made by you. If you have a wage garnishment, after you make 5 monthly payments, that wage garnishment should stop through the rehabilitation process. So, what happens next? After the 9th payment is made, your loan is technically out of default. The default status is removed from your credit report, and you should again regain access to other benefits like federal student aid, the ability to enter into an income driven repayment plan, and potentially start accumulated credit towards other forgiveness programs. Please know that while rehabilitation may help with your credit, it's not going to remove the delinquencies that led to the default. Those are going to stay there and fall off generally after 7 years from your credit report. Your loans, once they get out of default, are going to be transitioned to a new student loan servicer. Make sure you create an account with that new student loan servicer and establish a repayment plan. Please be aware that the repayment amount that you were paying while you were doing the rehabilitation may not be the same once you enter a formal repayment plan with the new servicer when your loans are in good standing. We generally recommend that you explore your repayment options before you enter the rehabilitation agreement to know what you may expect not only during the rehabilitation payments, but also after you get your loans out of default. You don't want any surprises, and you want to make sure that you will be able to make those payments after you rehabilitate your loans to keep your loans in good standing moving forward. How do you stay on track after rehabilitation? Here are some tips. Make sure that your contact information is updated at studentaid.gov. That is the federal government's national database, and that is the center of all your student loan information. You don't want to miss any communications, and you want to keep a pulse on your loans. So always check your studentaid.gov account periodically. You also want to make sure that you have your student loan servicer account. Again, this is going to be the servicer that is now managing your loans once you get them out of default. Log in regularly, read your emails, make sure that your payments are being made, and reply to any documentation requests by the servicer. If you enrolled in an income driven repayment plan, please know that you have to recertify that plan every year. So keep it on your calendar. Know when you must renew. You don't want to miss that deadline. Generally, your servicer is going to let you know in advance that you're due to recertify. But when in doubt, make sure that you are proactive and know when you must recertify your income driven repayment plan. If you end up struggling again, ask for help. If you simply need 1 or 2 months of a payment pause, you can always look into a deferment or forbearance to pause payments. But again, ask for help if you are struggling. The last thing you want to do is fall back into default again. Rehabilitation can take time, but it's worth it, especially if you want to improve your credit or save your current progress towards forgiveness programs like income driven repayment forgiveness. If you're unsure of which option is best, we can help you compare based on your situation. Reach out.